What up, everybody? It's Thursday, June 14, 2012. It's your boy, Jay Storm. We got a very special guest in the house tonight for y'all. We got Miss Wendy Day. And for y'all that really don't know who Wendy Day is, she's a very key figure in this industry that we are striving in, or seeking to strive in. She's managed artists all over the world like Twister, David Banner, T Murder, Slick Rick, Roz Cosby, Killer Priest, and many more. She helped out with Cash Money Records and Get Nate Deal. She helped out with No Limit. She helped with Young Jeezy and CTE Records. She's got a book in stores that you must read right now. It's entitled How to Get a Record Deal. I ain't going to talk out of death. I'm going to get right into this one. So without any further ado, it's my girl Cole with Wendy Day.
How you doing, Wendy? Miss?
I'm awesome. How are you?
What was your reason behind starting Rap Coalition and Power Moves?
Rap Coalition I started in 1992 because I noticed that some of my favorite rap artists were in really messed up contracts, and it seemed like the people that were representing them when they were making a lot of money were no longer there by their side when they were no longer making a lot of money. So I decided to start the not-for-profit organization solely to help people that were in messed up contracts. And what we do is we break those contracts. And it's been almost 21 years now, and, we're still going strong. I'm really thankful for what I do. Power Moves is a for-profit company that I started to help artists that wanted to stay independent. Not all artists have an entrepreneurial sensibility. Sometimes that art gene is a little bit different from the business gene, and if you're a Jay-Z type artist and you don't have a Dame Dash in your corner to help you out on the business tip, sometimes you need a little bit of help, and that's what Power Moves does. We help set up labels for folks who, don't have experience in the music industry, but have the proper funding to be able to do what they need to do. Rap Olympics was really a one-time event. It wasn't ever meant to be an annual event. It was one time in 1996.
Okay, so we know you've been in the industry for over 20 years. How much has it changed from... How much has it changed from when you first started to now?
Oh my gosh, it's way, 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 way different. I'm very fortunate. Well, first of all, let me say that I'm old, So I've been listening to rap music since 1980. So I'm very fortunate because I've gotten to see all of the changes since the very beginning of rap music. And one of the cool things about having seen change is that you learn to adapt, and you learn that even if you don't like a certain style or a certain type of music, all you have to do is really wait because it's going to change. The cycles always change. So the music itself has changed so much. It went from party rap to, black nationalism, back to party rap, to education, to gangster rap, to, a rock rap hybrid, to putting out songs that have dances to them, back to gangster rap. Gangster rap then became pop. So that it's made so many twists and turns in the journey that it's just the music itself is very different. But I'd say the biggest difference that I've seen and the biggest growth that I've seen is in the industry itself. Like the way we access our music today is very different. There was a time where you bought it on vinyl or you bought it on cassette, and now it's all MP3.
Do you feel that there was more money in the 90s compared to now?
Well, yes and no. There was more money in the 90s, absolutely. But because today an artist doesn't really need a major record label in order to put out their music, there's more money for the artist. So even though I'm sad because the amount of sales have gone down, I'm not sad about the fact that the artists are getting paid directly. And, for example, as a rapper, you no longer need to get a deal with Def Jam or Sony or Atlantic to get your music out there. You know, you can do it yourself with an investor and make the lion's share of the money yourself, you know, 50% or 80%, compared to an artist that's signed to a major who's only making 12% after they pay back all of the money spent on their project out of their 12%. So, yes, there's less money as a whole, but there's more money for the artist, which is my goal.
Okay. My co-host Jay Storm want to ask you a question.
Sure.
Hello, Wendy. How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you tonight?
I'm fine. First, I'd like to thank you, for the opportunity to speak with you today. But listening to what you're saying about the artists and getting to the game, like as an artist that is seasoned, what type of budget do we need to get into the game? What's that path that we need to take that so many of us are clueless about?
Did you ask what kind of path an artist needs to take? Because there's a little bit of reverb on your voice. I had a little trouble hearing you.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yes, ma'am.
The path that an artist needs to take is, first of all, they need to have really good music. The music needs to be great quality, and it needs to be able to compete with what's already out there. Meaning it needs to be mixed and mastered, and the production needs to be, commercial grade quality. And then once you've got good music and good songs, an artist needs to just get out there and start working the records themselves. Back in the day, artists used to send out demos to try to get a record deal, and that whole thing is dead. Now you need to build a buzz. You need to build a movement for yourself. You need to have a following on the internet in order to be taken seriously by the music industry. So once you've got enough fans and a movement behind you, you can do one of two things. You can stay independent and do your thing, or you can accept one of the deals that's going to be forthcoming, because the labels are going to see what you're doing and they're going to see your movement and they're going to want to be part of that. They're going to want to see the financial gain in signing an artist before they actually sign them.
Okay. So with that said, would it be better to sign a deal, or would it be better to remain independent? I mean,
it depends. It depends on the artist. It's hard for me to look into a crystal ball and say which is going to be better for which person. For somebody like myself who understands how the music business works and has taken the time to learn all the different functions that a label can do, for me, it's much easier to go and hire somebody to do radio, hire my own publicist, hire my own video people, rather than signing to a label and waiting for them to work my project when they get around to it, and having to deal with whoever is employed at that record label. For me, it's a much better opportunity to be able to hire the guy who does radio for Interscope, the guy who does video at Def Jam, the internet guy from Atlantic, you see what I'm saying? So you can build your own staff from the people out there that are really the best at what they do. You don't have to stick with just one staff from a label. But in fairness, not everybody can do that. Not everybody has the funding. Not everybody has the knowledge. Not everybody has the entrepreneurial skill to run their own company. So there are a lot of artists out there that are going to need to sign to an Atlantic or a Sony or a Universal label in order to be successful at what they do. I do. I think it's here to stay. I mean, it's been around for, over 30 years as it is. Yeah. So, absolutely, I think it's gonna be around. It may not be in the exact form that we have it now. Like if you listen to Run DMC today, it sounds old and dated. In fact, if you listen to EPMD, which came around 10 years later, it sounds old and dated. I listen to Soulja Boy, which is only you know, a couple years old, and it sounds old and dated to me. So the change is obvious as it moves on. And I think 10 years from now, there'll still be people who have hip-hop in their heart and are still making hip-hop music. The difference is I think it's going to go back underground. I think that some rap music is going pop, like the Lil Waynes and the Rick Rosses and the T.I.s and the Jeezys of the world. You know, they're going more pop, which means more mainstream, right? But then you've got a lot of artists out here that have an underground niche for what they do. You know, Yo Gotti is able to tour and sell 50,000 to 150,000 copies of his album every time he puts one out. So I think he'll be able to do that consistently, you know, for a long time coming, certainly the next 10 years. You know, as long as he still makes good quality music that his fans want to hear. That doesn't mean he's going to go and sell 10 million records. That's not realistic. But, you know, he's got his own lane, and as long as he stays true to his lane, I think he can, you know, eke out the remainder of his career successfully.